Hey guys, welcome back to yourstory.com, and as usual we bring you great startups. This is me, Vishal Krishna, and today I've got a very old friend with me, Shankar, and his co-founder, partner from Aryabhatta Robotics, Mr. Soumya Mahapatra. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good. Thanks for being here. But let me tell you, I'll tell you, our friendship goes a long way, and he's a chartered accountant by profession, and now he works in a AI company, right?
Right, yeah.
You know, I mean, times have changed a lot, Shankar.
Right. I think
Since the days of 2009, when we used to talk about technology very little, we used to talk about mostly infrastructure and all the infrastructure companies
And
raising
balance
money,
sheet
and
analysis.
balance sheets analysis and all that.
Right.
What's changed? What made you join a artificial intelligence company?
So after 2009, as you're saying, Vishal, right? I was doing a couple of other startups. Like one is Rupee Rail, the other one is Virtual CFO, because I realized saying that even the traditional business or the traditional profession like a chartered accountant, if you want to reach to the scale, the only way to do is technology. So that's what I tried a couple of times, and I got my hands dirty. But for some reasons or other, it didn't work out. But the recent startup, which before Aryabhatta, the realitycompass.com, where me and my other co-founder in Aryabhatta, Alok, we started the company, and there we reached to lakhs of people.
So
who
you're
got
basically
benefited.
saying that technology allows you to scale more rapidly.
Right.
And the fact that I remember those days, so I'll come to you in a bit, but I remember in 2010 when you started Rupee Rail, the idea was beyond its time.
That's
You
right.
wanted to make sure that banks connect to the right SMBs
Right.
because SMBs did not have the right credit scores, and
Absolutely.
you wanted to create a platform.
Correct.
Right,
correct.
we're talking about very early days of entrepreneurship in India, right?
Right.
And the fact that a couple of banks use that also.
Right, they used it. Even few SMBs also got benefited. But for so many reasons, I think probably the people don't want to reveal their financial statements, and so this one probably now with the GST, and I think people are compelled to do it. At that time, people didn't do it, so it had its own hiccups, right? But all the learnings, it really helped me in terms of understanding how the technology benefits for a traditional chartered accountant like me.
And how entrepreneurship works also, right?
Right.
At that point of time, we remember spending a lot of time around whether it's really going to work. And you're a man of hustle, right? You run around, you don't waste your time, right?
Right.
It's very important. You want to tell our audience that.
Right. So if I say at least I have done around 6 or 7 startups. No, I don't even stop counting that. So it's like I have done even before Reality Campus I was doing an interior design. Right. I think then also
You had your own consulting business, I
consulting
remember.
business, investment banking, and even the bifurcation of the investment banking, the rupeerail.com and virtual CFO is accounting. I think now with the artificial intelligence, now what I dreamed, now it's possible. Like by a single click, you can do the accounting.
Yeah, I think it's so fast now, right? And that's where I think good founders, right, come from different walks of life. And you're an engineer, Soumya. I mean,
Yeah.
you're from what, REC,
I'm from
REC or NIT Rourkela?
NIT Rourkela.
And you also worked in Mu Sigma.
Yeah, as a data scientist, that's where like I generated interest for retail domain, like where I work for Fortune 500 clients there, and I developed a love for the retail industry, and I started my own venture after like I came out of Mu Sigma.
It's called Nirvana Box.
Nirvana Box, exactly. It's again in the retail tech domain, and that is where in the Bangalore domain, where we ran it for nearly 1 year and 6 months. In the last 6 months, we were able to achieve around 800 customers.
That's quite a lot of scale. I mean, how do you achieve that scale, firstly?
So we started partnering with a lot of local clients and all everywhere, and based on that, Grofers played a very big role there, and we partner with them also. Apart from that, the subscription model, we want to innovate something in the
What were you
subscription
solving?
box. So we are basically trying to build a subscription boxes. Like for example, I'm creating a fruits boxes, a vegetable, a diabetic box for you, and delivering at a weekly level.
I'm glad that in this short conversation, I realized that you've done 6, 7 startups which failed. One of them worked out, which is sold quicker, which is Realty Compass, and the others were tough. You kept running around, and you were saying that the Nirvana Box idea, although had 800 customers, it went through a downturn. I mean,
Exactly.
because of demonetization, ladies and gentlemen, and for whatever reasons, we're not getting into that. But those lessons were immense. Right?
Exactly.
So you don't let failures define your existence, right? You move on.
Yeah.
What would you say to that?
So as an entrepreneur, like we need to invent, we need to move on. Like doesn't matter like how the scenario behaves. As an entrepreneur, you always have to innovate. Like that's what we have been doing for the last
3 years like me being in the entrepreneurship like role. So that's how like we came into this Aryabhatta idea. Like we figure out like in retail there's a huge scope and we can re-innovate, like because retail has not transitioned for the last 100 years, that what we have seen, and we can simply play a bigger role in transitioning using our
for those who have just joined us, Aryabhatta Robotics is a computer vision, neural network, edge computing and IoT startup. I'll let the gentleman expand on that. You know, these are buzzwords being used nowadays. Right? So how do you intend to solve it for the world? What you were basically targeting retailers, anybody with a consumer angle. So how can talk me through all this? How can computer vision solve for retailers, for example?
So you might be knowing there's CCTV camera everywhere. Every retailer have it, CCTV camera around every corner, right? So what it does currently, it captures data and save it in the DVR. And it is not used for any other purpose apart from the surveillance thing where a human has to be interfere. We are here to make that data like more efficient, more digitalized, like where we are writing an algorithm, AI algorithm, which will directly work on the DVR, like the CCTV footage you are getting, and provide real-time information to the retailers and thereby helping them in the analytics.
You know, I've seen this in China, right? And China does it with their cameras for people walking on the road. They identify who's walking on the road. So you're saying it's a similar algorithm?
The algorithm is almost similar, but here we are detecting each and every, like we can detect faces, detect objects, and recognize the person. Like I can even tell you like when did you last enter to the store, what was your last buying purchase, your item purchase and all. Based on that, I can carry out targeted marketing on you.
Okay, you know, when I talk about computer vision, there are a whole host of people saying that they're solving something. You know, for security is one, for identity, obviously in retail stores, for loyalty programs is another one. You know, sometimes I get scared, right? There's many startups that come to me and say that we have our algorithm is the best. But the proof is in the pudding, right? You guys have won many awards. And recently you won an award too somewhere. You want to tell me about that, Soumya?
Actually, my alumni network, like NIT Rourkela, I belong to NIT Rourkela. So they conducted an event like almost similar to Shark Tank. So I attended the event, I participated in the event where I won like the Shark Tank event of NIT Rourkela and securing, like Shankar will.
So what is the pitch about? What is the pitch all
about?
So
the pitch about is like how the cognitive technologies, right? How it changes, right? I think we are artificial intelligence. We make a cognitive products. So the one product is vision, the other one is the voice, which we'll announce soon, and the third one is movement, right? So I think the people really liked it because this is what the robotics, the robots are going to make the way in our day-to-day life.
So that's what I want to ask you. You're a finance guy and you understand how money should be deployed and what probably customers want. So what do customers want from your product? Probably that's the reason you won the award, or you won it purely on technology?
No, it is not. I think Vishal, you are talking to hundreds of entrepreneurs every day, right? It is not a pure technology which excites any investor. It is using the technology how we solve a real world problem, right? So the voice product, which I will tell sooner, is really solving each and every startup. I think Vishal, can I introduce?
Yeah, you should.
So we are launching Aryabhatta Voice, right? And the voice is like nowadays every business spends crores of money in getting the customer, right? But the customer's first touch point is a website. They come there, they consume the data, but only few people, they share their contact details, other people simply walk away. So to get the guy again and again, the business spend the money in advertisement and various things. So we are saying that when the customer is there in your website live, the business or the telecalling team of the business can talk to the customer without having their mobile number.
How does that happen?
So using the cookies and VoIP, you'll be able to directly make a call to the customer,
so
either the phone or
you plug into say that. If they're coming to the mobile web, you can track cookies, but can you also understand what number it's originating from?
No, so there's no telephone. It's not a telephony to VoIP. It is a internet to internet call.
Okay.
Right. So there is no need of So it's a web RTC. It's a peer-to-peer communication rather than through a server.
So how does that happen? Do you want to explain this technology to our audience?
So basically, what happens like whenever someone enters into the website, like their cookie ID get tracked, right?
That we know. Yes.
Exactly. So you might have seen Google Hangouts and all, where you make a call between two people started talking to each other. That is exactly what you are doing. But whenever you land into the website, we started making a call from our backend. Like any sales guy will be there.
Okay, but should I, when I come to the website, I don't come to Google Hangouts or anything, right? I come straight into the website. But how can you call us? if I've come onto the website?
So the WebRTC,
WebRTC will be
which is the real-time communication. That is what even the Google is promoting big time, right?
Yeah.
So that is using that technology. We are able to call the customer directly.
What's it called again? You want to tell our audience that?
So it's called WebRTC.
RTC.
Yeah.
What does that
WebRTC.
mean?
So
Real-time communication.
Real-time
communication.
communication. Yeah.
Okay.
Right, so you can make a voice call, you can make
this
a
is very
video
interesting
call.
for me, right?
Right.
How does the algorithm work in your case? Yes, we all know. I remember a world where the ad tech companies would track the cookies and then tell you where you're surfing, then serve you the relevant ads. That I understand.
Yeah.
So in this case, you're coming on your phone onto a website, say a global retailer, for example, Walmart. And I'm a supplier who wants to be a supplier to Walmart, and I'm looking at Walmart's supplier business. They can call me.
Right. So
Yeah,
the Walmart
they can
telecalling. So the Walmart telecalling team, they will be sitting there. They will be able to see in their screen who are all the people coming on their screen, right?
Okay.
Without having the name or anything. You will be able to give some user ID, which is not making sense. It will be just a cookie ID. So just pressing the button, you will be able to make a call to the person. Just by allowing the microphone, both the people can talk. So this is not only the audio; it can be voice, and the people also can transfer files without having the email or anything. Because nowadays people like privacy, right? Why should I give my details to the other guy? But I want to converse with the opposite party.
So the benefit for the retailer here, in this case, hypothetically, Walmart, is to win a supplier, understand his rates, so
Right.
better conversion.
Yeah.
So
Right.
so that means better stocking, better inventory.
Absolutely,
Exactly.
absolutely. Or even give another example, like which wherever there is any customer, like say real estate or education, where the people are going to the site, they're consuming, they want to talk to someone, but they don't want to reveal their entity, right? Any startup or any business where they want to talk to the customer in their own private mode, I think this is a product where they can get a maximum use of it.
Interesting. That's called Aryabhatta Voice.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. What other services that do you offer as Aryabhatta?
So one is the Zorro, the Aryabhatta Zorro, which is a
Vision
CCTV, right? I think it is what we are doing is we are making the CCTV smarter. I think Soumya can explain in detail.
Yeah, in the vision product, like Ajay discussed, like it's more about making the CCTV camera smarter, where we have our on-premise edge computing devices, which is plugged into the local network, and there we carry out processing and retrieve the information on a real-time basis, and that information we share it to the end customers. And like as a stakeholder, I'll be able to understand what is the journey of my customer inside the stores, if my campaign is working fine or not, like whether the right demographics of the customer I'm targeting or not. A lot of analytical angle we can solve it and help retailers to increase conversion or sales nearly to 25 to 10x towards 10x level. Okay, that is the growth a retailer can see while implementing our technology, and that is what we can do with our. Apart from that, there's a use case across understanding the attendance of the store employees, the sales guy, what time they enter, how much time they're spending inside the store, what time they're checking out. That will help in operational optimization of the stores, and that by reducing the cost of the total store. That is how we can help the voice product. And
I want to ask both of you. This product probably works. I've raised this with you before too, and that one of you should move to the US and probably, sell this product in the US where you have a better market, better market to capture rather than going through the sales cycle here, which is 8 to 9 months on an average, and startups run out of money here, and the investor participation here also is small monies compared to the US where the sales cycles are smaller. The adoption of technologies are higher.
Yeah.
So at the moment you're focused on India.
Vishal, thanks to it, even sitting from here, we at least got some few global giants as our customers, right? The Swiss-based retailer, right?
Okay.
Majorly in all the airports, as well as the
What's the name? Can you disclose the name? It's a Swiss-based retailer.
Yeah, as of now we're in the India, probably
Okay.
not that.
Okay.
Probably the other one, the German, car sharing platform, company called Sixt, right? So they are using our product, and even Indian global, Indian retailers, which is from the major groups, right? So they are really using our product on a regular basis.
On a pilot basis.
Yes, no, not on a pilot basis. We are already even we are even process a pilot.
Totally,
stage.
how many clients?
So we are as of now the running clients is around 10, and we are operating around 20 stores.
Okay, so when do we expect you to go global?
So
you have to go to the USA.
Yes, we need to, because we even got our first customer in US. There is a CRM company, which is providing services to the hospitals. So they are using our face recognition to understand the patient waiting time in their hospital, right?
It's interesting. So I walk into the hospital and
Right.
face
Basically,
recognition. I
yeah.
don't have to I don't have to go through any fingerprint.
You don't need to go through the fingerprint, or even before even going to the hospital, it will tell that what is the expected time you need to reach there, right? Knowing that how many patients are waiting.
So it's probably an app. It looks. I can look at the app and it uses the camera and tells you that look, this will probably be a waiting time. You can leave now.
Right.
Okay, those kind of.
Exactly.
But obviously we need to scale. I think getting 1 or 2 customers is easy, but obviously we need to scale. We want to expand there.
See, that's the biggest challenge, right? I mean, you both are experienced now. I mean, obviously you also saw me. I worked in Mu Sigma.
Yeah.
Scaling services business seems to be very easy compared to a product business.
But
are you guys at a disadvantage in our country?
No, I think the good advantage being India is very, very cost effective, right? I think if you just to give an example of our, the image recognition, right, processing, whatever we're doing, the global giants, they are primarily doing through the cloud. I think if you look at the cost wise, or if you look at their pricing wise, they are at least charging 20 times more than us. We are charging 1/20th of their price. With that, we are making a huge margin. So we are in a better position because
it's that's a fantastic point. Guys watching this, you can set up your R&D team in India, which is cost effective. But the founders or one of the founders has to go in the USA and win clients, and that's the best way to go about it.
Absolutely. I think obviously we are also in the. I think with the God helps us within 6 to 8 months.
You brought in God into the subject, and we are talking artificial intelligence. Okay, go on.
So I think within that period we will be able to get it, and that's a very clear plan to go abroad.
Right, there should be an artificial intelligence to actually win clients. Right. That's the true God, no? But there is a product like that. I'll share with you after. Maybe you can do your sales better. I'll tell you the name of that startup. I'll share with you. But okay, coming down to your inspirations, because see, you. Yeah, before we go into inspirations, I know what they've also got commitments of $500,000.
We got funding for more than $500,000, right? I think from leading entrepreneurs, right? I think as of now.
So you're going to use the money to expand in India or Southeast Asia?
Primarily, we will deploy to develop our product. I think more than half the money will go towards that, and also expand our sales in India as well as even US.
So all the best to you, and guys watching out there. This is Aryabhatta Robotics. If you're a retailer wanting to use AI to understand your customers better through computer vision or through edge computing or IoT, these are the guys to look forward to. They won awards in NIT Rourkela. They've been a Tech 30 startup in your story last year, so that's a great thing. And let me get down to the other things that entrepreneurs look forward to. Reading is very important, and it's made me what I am today. I mean, obviously I'm not just a journalist, but also I'm an aspiring business person and investor, right? So books mean a lot in a sense. They build character. So what kind of books made you become an entrepreneur?
Right. I think even when I was as an employee, I started my first entrepreneurial book, if I call it, is Sam Walton's Made in America. I was really
Sam Walton's Made in America.
I was really blown away, right, at the kind of this one detail in which he narrated the whole story. So after that, I started reading very many the stories.
You also got 0 to 1 that you state as
0 to 1. So now I started reading the books how to understand the customer better. There is one book on habits, right? I think it's it's narrating me how the habit is getting formed, right? These are all important for us. When I think any entrepreneur, when you're making a habit forming product, I think you need to really understand how these are the things getting impacted.
And you yourself are a sports person. You talk about the importance of sport to build character. Books are my favorite, but also some level of sport. You say you're a tennis player, a national level TT player.
Exactly.
How do you manage time? Do you still play sport?
So whenever I get chance, I play sports. Right now, I play badminton every time I reach home. So that's how I carry out my daily activity. Apart from that, TT, I have represented my home state Odisha for 5 times in the national level. And it has always inspired me to carry out to be in the competitive environment and start positioning yourself better so that you can take the best out of the current situation. That is what has inspired me from sports.
Would you recommend sometimes I look at Indian startups, right? We're so busy working, and we Indians don't sometimes seem to value our own time. We want to do something for the world rather than also take care of ourselves. Would you recommend entrepreneurs to take time off, do sport, do reading, get to know other things? Shankar, Soumya, you want to take this?
Yeah, definitely. Sports, I believe every entrepreneur should pursue sports as a secondary, because if you are fit, right, like your brain works like anything. So that's what, like, whenever I start playing, I come up with new ideas. I start working on the ideas. That is how it makes me a better entrepreneur. Like, that's what I feel. Sports is the key. Like, that's what my belief. Yeah.
So you guys watching, right? I mean, it's very important, I think, to take care of yourself. You can go like a rocket ship, but when you fall and you're not taking care of yourself mentally and physically, I think that's a mess. And I want to ask you this, but you're a chartered accountant. You advise a lot of people. I mean, entrepreneurs are seemingly failing in India multiple times. The rate of failure is higher. It's higher globally, but there is an ecosystem supporting you to come back. There's no problem with failure, that you're celebrating it. And we all say that America, this happens and that happens. But for Indians to understand that failure is okay, is money the limiting factor for us?
Money and the mindset, right? I think the people accepting the new ideas, I think whether it is Realty Campus or here, I think people have to change a lot. I think we see the changes here, but there is a whole lot of changes which we need to see before seeing that the new age technologies can be first tested in India before going outside. But as of now, it's happening the other way, right? We make the product for US where it's getting validated, then the customers are accepting in here India. So the mindset, especially the traditional businesses, they need to change and accept new technology.
See, that's a brilliant point, right, guys? If you're traditional businesses watching out there, and this video obviously Shankar will promote on his website, and if you're watching it, I think you guys have to take a bet on Indian innovation. Because you'll be paying, if you go to an average US startup, they'll probably charge you not Indian pricing but global pricing, and you guys will have to get used to that. But if you come to an Indian startup, take care of them. They also benefit from serving the local economy. They employ more people, and they also have global pricing. So I would suggest that you bring a balance there and support them. But how many Indian companies do you have working for you now?
I think we have around 5 companies.
5 companies
of 9. We have
total of 9.
Yeah.
So the good thing is governments are now getting big into startups. We saw in Tech Sparks, we saw the Rajasthan government come and announce so much, and that guy created a ruckus out there, didn't he? So, but let me tell you, the Maharashtra Startup Week is on, and it's called the Startup Week 2019, where you can win work orders up to 15 lakhs of government projects, free credits and more. The last date to apply for this is 5th January 2019. And I'm sorry I have to read this out, and I don't like to read it. And listen, just go to the Startup Week website on the Maharashtra page, and that's what my team tell me. You get government projects, tenders, whatnot. Do you think working with the government is good?
I think we are, especially face recognition, we also want to work with the surveillance projects in India. But it's taking more time.
Why is it taking time?
Probably the bureaucrats.
Tenders.
The whole process of L1 and other things is taking more time.
Brilliantly said. So there you go. If you go to the Maharashtra Startup Week and apply, probably you'll get access to projects faster than everyone else. And why this whole thing around everything? I see Rajasthan, I see Orissa, I see Telangana, I see Andhra, I see Karnataka, I see Maharashtra now, and even Kerala saying, we want to go the startup route. But yet, coming back to your original point, we are not really signing up startups on a large scale project, right?
Right. So probably their in-house, they may not have the capability to understand the new age technology because they are using the public money, right? Before spending on XYZ, some private limited company, they need to have the process. So that's what the process they had, but that's an archaic process, right? It's not for the new age technologies. So they also need to change their way of functioning.
Because there's this pricing model, right? They look at the cheapest pricing in the tender, and then they say that, okay, we'll give the
because there are not so many, like for the cutting edge technologies like this, there are not so many people out there, right? And the whole process of paying delay and everything, that the whole, the advantage is completely is going out.
So they have to change those things first before they get startups coming and working for you. That's great. So Soumya, what kind of technologies are you studying now?
So currently we are working with neural networks, like deep learning is the technology we are working on right now, where we are using the machine learning algorithms to train our model and start fetching data.
So you're using everything on AWS, is it?
No, we are using Python, and AWS is something.
AWS libraries?
Yeah. No, not exactly AWS libraries. We are using our own, we have our own in-house team who works and build the algorithm end to end. And apart from that, we are basically working on the Python algorithm to build those things.
You want to quickly tell our startups the difference between using Amazon libraries and building your own?
So Amazon Library is basically it's a cloud model, right? Like it has to be like sync with the so whenever you deploy your product, right, the luminance factor varies. Like the CCTV, we are working with CCTV, not with the original camera. Whenever you're working with CCTV camera, the luminance has to be taken care. If it is not at the right luminance, not in the correct angle, then it will definitely impact the recognition thing and everything, right? For that, we need to train our model based on the current scenario which you're working on. So every SOP needs a proper attention to be trained. The model has to be trained based on that particular location or particular area. Many factors have to be taken into. And Amazon has just made it standardized. And the recognition algorithm, I believe, it needs to have that level of data, like which we fetch from the CCTV. So they have the internet data, we have the CCTV data. That is the difference.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going to use a different analogy, which I understand. For example, if you're in the construction industry, right?
Yeah.
So Amazon's providing you the tools to do it. For example, it's providing you the sand, the masonry, right? And that's what they're providing. It's left to you to build everything on top of it.
Vishal, I will
give a good analogy.
Good analogy. See, they have tools. They have in our thing, it's you can either use Amazon APIs to even make the product from there and become a kind of a reseller of Amazon. But the whole cost advantage of India is completely going down, right? I was giving an example a few minutes back, saying that if I completely do it on the cloud, right, it is going to be 20x costlier. But what we are doing is we are using Amazon storage rather than their APIs, right? So there we are saying we are using our own our software, which does the intelligence part, but we are using the storage to serve across the globe.
That's the infrastructure side.
That's right.
Yeah.
So would you recommend using Amazon libraries if you're a startup? Quickly.
Depends on the cost. Like if you're targeting.
I know I'll use them for storage.
Yeah.
But should I
if you
use
want to
their
start
APIs?
with something, definitely you go for Amazon Cloud. But once you mature as a startup, you start building your own algorithm. You can't.
You got it. Why is that?
Because like eventually the price is a factor. Basically in the Indian domain, like price is a very important factor. If you can't hit the right price, the product won't sell. To sell your product in the Indian market, like you have to come down with the price. For that to happen, you have to build your own algorithm, which will eventually you need to build it up.
So you're saying price again, right?
Yeah.
The price is a function of the storage, right? And the APIs that you use.
No,
so
API.
you're saying if you use somebody else's API, the cost goes up?
No, in our example, we are using edge computing, right? So there is the process of the video, majority of the process happens locally. Only we send the metadata to the cloud. So the cost component significantly comes down, right? Rather than using the API where I need to send all the video, which will hit the API. So the cost, it increases, very dramatically. As well as it put pressure on the, the network as well as everything, which will derail your whole project, right? So as every entrepreneur, you need to figure out what is the way you need to deliver, right? Which is a better way to do. So then accordingly, you need to make a choice. Either you want to use an API or you need to...
Okay, quickly, you being a chartered accountant again and the finance guy, did you look at this cost benefit versus the technology benefit?
I think probably the finance numbers works easier for me in my brain. But I think our other co-founder Alok who takes care of the technology. But when we go to the customer and the pricing, the finance part plays a major role.
Exactly.
So build your own libraries.
Exactly. Build your own
So to
libraries.
have your cost advantage.
Yeah.
And to also you own the algorithm rather than using Amazon's APIs.
Yeah,
Exactly.
purely depend upon someone else.
Okay, that's amazing. That's a good. There's some audience questions. You want to take it?
Yeah, please.
Okay, this is from Nilofer. She says, "How did you come to realize that starting up made better sense than working in corporate? What keeps you going as an entrepreneur?" That's a good New Year question. Then Nilofer, you're going to be the next entrepreneur.
Right. So the entrepreneurship is always an addiction, right? I think doing something of your own. It's a really great journey, right? I think the morning you get up, you decide what you want to do, how you want to take the journey forward. Not only today, even 5 years down the line. So we can keep talk on and on about it, but the experience is far different than working in any corporate.
So that's what you think works. Even if you lose money, you're saying go out.
Right, and we strongly believe, Vishal, I'm saying that at some part of time we also say that we will make money. Right, I think though I'm saying the one experience, we believe that we'll make money.
Yeah, so you believe and that keeps you going.
Yes,
exactly.
And,
yes.
Would you agree on that?
Yeah, definitely. See, once you start your first journey, right, then it's all about like starting it. It's an antique Shankar said. So definitely you need to start somewhere as an entrepreneur, and working for a company, like it's good initially because you need to learn a lot. Like for me working for Mu Sigma has given me a lot of experience, how the industry works, how everything works. That gives you a lot of experience. But after that, like you definitely need to take a call, like where you are.
The other thing, Nilofer, is the fact that most companies end up being services companies. If you want to do product, you want to go outside and do it. right? And that's what you guys are doing, right? I say it because Music Now is a services company, right? And I think that's the cost advantage that startups bring to the market, right? They build products rather than just services, right? Are you a services company? You're not.
No, we are a product company.
You don't want to be in the services
Definitely. Domain. I think just to, if I say, we want to touch at least $1 billion and 1 billion people in our life, right?
And with retail, you can.
Right. So, retail, the whole, the cognitive products which we are making in future, it can touch that many people, right? I think when you have that ambition, then there is no other choice except to embrace entrepreneurship.
Shimal says talk a little bit about Zorro and talk about how the technology helps you grow.
Okay, so
give examples.
Okay, so recently we worked for a retail client here in Bangalore only. So what happened, our technology was able to detect each and every customer that enter into the stores, and with the proper demographic attributes like the age, gender, tentative age, gender, and all the remaining attributes, and what the journey they have taken inside stores. So for example, like me as a customer enter into the store, they understand what percentage of the customer are male or female, what are the kind of, from there they understand what kind of assortment they need to keep inside the store, based on which they can plan the marketing activities and all. Exactly on that. Also understanding the cold spot and hot spot inside the stores, when I know the customer journey from different cameras, I capture the events, I know exactly what the cold spot and hot spot inside the store. Based on that, I can arrange the assortment and I can increase the revenue per square feet inside any retail store.
So just to add what Soumya has done, very simple case, one of the apparel store which we are working with, they're saying that for last 3 years their growth is completely stagnated, right? They're saying that, hey, can you help us? Then we found out that the store which is next to the leading women college, 80% of the customer is people less than 20 years, women, but their assortment is of the regular old age and this one. So once they identified these, just gang on, they completely rechanged their inventory. We saw that their revenue scaled up.
So you're basically saying implement technology to understand these kind of factors.
Exactly.
Right?
Data is the new fuel, right?
Experian. You've heard of Experian?
Yes.
Experian used to do this
so
many years ago, and they still continue to it. You're saying that most enterprise software is bloated, and the pricing is what you guys are coming after.
So I think when I say enterprise software, you're talking about the pricing which you need to be sensitive in India, right? But there are so many things which is the kind of, for example, the customer facing thing. Unless the face recognition, that's a technology can really solve certain problems, right? The old age technologies cannot solve certain problems which we are facing in the market, right? I think people are looking at singularity, right? Whether I using the website or this one, the same experience they want to have. So there are certain new technologies which we are using, which is going to solve certain kind of problems for the retailers.
So that's amazing. So guys, check out Aryabhatta Robotics. They have won many awards. They have at least 9 paying customers. They have raised money. They're going global. So help them grow. Soumya and Shankar, thank you very much, both of you.
Thanks
and
a lot.
Hope to host you soon when you do your Series A and Series B.
Sure.
And by the way, guys, again to remind you, the Maharashtra Startup Week is on, where the government promises you free credits, government projects worth 15 lakhs. The last day to apply for this is 5th January again. It's on the website is maharashtrastartupweek.msins.in. Again, Maharashtra, it's not Maharashtra, it's a mahastartupweek.msins.in. It doesn't get more complicated than the government. But again, mahastartupweek.msins.in. Okay, and I'll put it up in the link. Sweetie, we make sure we put it up in the link. And guys, again, thanks for watching the show. And thanks, guys. Best to do an impromptu.
Sure.
See you in a bit.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye, guys. Bye.